Whether Converses are high heels, I walk with the confidence of a lioness. I can roar like Asada, make a mark like Maya, be quick like June, raise my fist like Angela Davis. I know I'm a queen, and I wear a crown like Nefertiti. No, I'm never needy because I'm Sahara from the St. Louis Public Library. What's up, y'all? I'm super excited. Let's get into it. Ayy.
All right, y'all. So this is your face when you realize everything at the library is free. Free? Yes, free. And we are fines free too. So that means if you owe a book to the library and it is due, you do not owe a thing. Okay. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Your face when you realize that it means free to borrow, but not free to have. Um, really? Yes, okay. You cannot keep the materials, you can borrow them, but we do have some things that we occasionally do give away. So we give away like the Revolution of Bertie Randolph last month for Black History Month. And we also give away books time to time for like Read It Forward or Read It Pays. So you can get a SLPL e-card. And that means that whenever you come to the library, you can get a physical card, and the physical cards look like what you see on the screen. But the e-card is something different. So I'm going to show you guys what that e-card process looks like. All right, so as you can see, we have the eCard registration. It's where you can download things like Hoopla, Overdrive. You can get Freegal, you know, all of those things are available. And you go down and you click the apply here for an e-card. So that means you don't have to get a physical card. We don't have to mail it to you or anything like that. You can just use it online. And then you just want to make sure your parents know that you are getting an e-card. So you want to let them know if you're a resident of St. Louis County, or St. Charles County. And if you don't live in any of these places, if you go to work, attend school in St. Louis City County or St. Charles County, then you can get a library card. So that's you guys because you go to Gateway. All right. So you guys can get an e-card anytime you would like. Definitely fill out that application. It's really easy peasy. And then you can have your very own e-card that you don't have to use. Now, if you need to get renewed, right? If you need to get your card renewed, just let your teacher know, and I can make sure you get an library card application that you have to fill out, your parent has to sign, and then they can go ahead and email that to me so we can get you a physical card to your house, and we would be willing to mail that to you. Okay. So we are launching the virtual teen lounge on Discord, you guys. We are so excited for this because we wanted to create a space that when the library is closed in strange situations like a pandemic, you know, we wanted you guys to be able to still come hang out with us. So this is the virtual teen lounge. It's your space though, so we don't really do much of anything. It's really for you guys to talk about whatever you want. We're going to be streaming games, and it's going to be kind of like create your own adventure as far as gaming goes type of thing. And we're going to create a server for Minecraft. So it's going to be a lot of great things that we have created for you specifically. All right. And you can follow us on Instagram at SLPL Teen Lounge, SLPL Teen Lounge, so you can hang out with us. Now, just so you know, before you sign up for Discord, you have to be 13 or older, right? And this is what it kind of looks like when you go to our page for signing up. And then you fill out the virtual teen lounge form. Now, remember, I just talked about having an e-card. So if you have signed up for one, you would put yes, I got it. or no, I need to sign up for it, but you can sign up for it using this application. And if you do have a library card, but you forgot your number, you might need to get your card renewed, whatever the situation is, go ahead and hit this button. It'll email me to let me know, and that way we can look you up, get your number, get you renewed, whatever you need, we can get that done. And then we will send you a link to our Discord channel, and you'll be able to join our server. All right. There are some rules that you do have to follow, just like you would in the real teen lounge, because we don't want you using any bad language or anything like that. But it is a virtual teen space for you. Then we have our A to Z resources. This is something that you guys will use if you need help with homework. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, guys. So BrainFuse is something that you can get help on. So if you click on BrainFuse, it lets you go to BrainFuse Help Now. And so you can get live tutoring, you can go to a writing lab, you can go to Skill Surfer, you can send a question, you can go to a language lab. So any and all things to get that homework help is something that you can do here, which is really nice. All right, and then we have databases that you can complete research on anything, absolutely anything for class. All right. So that is where we'll go back to our databases, the St. Louis Public Library. Boop. And then you go to that digital content, you go to A to Z resources. You can look at here, you have the African American Communities Collection, you have African American Experience, you have Ancestry.com, you have all of these things that you can access from our database, right? And you can do research on things that you need for class. So it's really helpful, it's really nifty. Okay. So we're going to keep going with this. All right, you can also view our catalog of books, check them out. You can browse for games and movies, upcoming programs and events. You can see our teen blog. You can download our apps. You can use our databases. So let's go here. All right, so this is our catalog, and this is where you can search for a book like The Hate You Give. Bada bing, bada boom. And then voila, you get to see all the differences that we have. So we have it in book format, we have it in ebook format on Hoopla, which is a downloadable. We have another downloadable audiobook, which is actually on Overdrive/Libby. We have a large print version for those who struggle with seeing. We have the movie. We have the musical CD and soundtrack, right? We have a book analysis. We have a study guide. We have book club in a bag. And we have the latest title, which is Concrete Rose, written by the same author for Angie Thomas. So it's really great. Really, really great. All right. Then you have all the downloadables. So you can download Hoopla, Freegal, Overdrive, Libby, all right to your phone. And I will show you guys that. So I'll try to make this so you guys can see it. All right. So right now, what you guys should be seeing in 3, 2, 1 is you should be seeing me go to the Libby app. This is what I have. And this is where you can see what books I have checked out, what books I've previously checked out, and all of that. I listen to mostly audiobooks, so then you can play an audiobook. So like I have Midnight Sun, which is about vampires. It's written by Stephanie Meyer, who wrote Twilight. So you can listen to that type of book, and you can also look at your holds and things like that. So that's what this is. These are things like The Awakening of Malcolm X I have on hold, a lot of things. So yeah. And then we also have Hoopla. So if you go to Hoopla, I'm currently reading this book. And then if I close out of the book, boom, we have other things. So I have Afar, which is a graphic novel. As if you go into Hoopla right now, I am downloading this. There we go. 1, 2, yay! Oh, yay! All right, so I can look at this graphic novel, which you should be seeing right now. It's got really great images, but you can read it right on your phone. You don't even have to go get the physical book. And it looks really cool. All right, so that is your downloadables.
Ask me some questions for 8th graders who are about to transition into their first year of high school. So I thought I'd share those questions and their answers with you. The first question is, why do teens come to the library? Well, teens come to the library for a multitude of reasons. Sometimes it's just their hangout space. Sometimes they are actually seeking resources that we have. And sometimes they don't know why they came. Their friends came. So then they came, and it becomes a cycle of that. So we work very hard to make sure that teens have a safe space that they can come to once they come to the library, and that's why they come, because we tell them to, right? Anyone who works as a teen librarian or a teen service provider or youth services, they know we promote the library so much that we get teens to come and their friends get them to come. So that's why they hang out, all right? And what do teens do once they actually get to the library? Well, once teens actually come in, they can do a multitude of things. So they can hang out and socialize, they can play card games, they can play video games, and most importantly, they can get those resources that they need. So if they have a research project, if they have homework to do, if they are learning a language, if they are struggling with math, all of those things are something that we help them tackle once they come into the teen lounge space. And it's something really nice to see them get help with, you know? If they're struggling with like algebra or geometry, we make sure we're there to help them out. We usually have homework helpers, but in times like now, we have BrainFuse, which is an online digital resource that all you need is a library card and a PIN number to access, and then you can get that 24/7 help right online. So it's really amazing to see the teens actually come in and they're asking for homework help, right? They're asking for our advice on things. Sometimes they just want to know research topics or some topics that they just have in mind. Like, I had this teen who was really interested in animals, and he would come in all the time asking these random facts like, what is the biggest bear, you know, and then we'd look it up and we'd find black bear or something like that. And so it'd be things like that that we assist teens with. And the third thing, what do teens struggle with? What do they struggle with? Well, they struggle with that transition, realistically. From going from middle school to high school, the workload is drastically different. You're preparing for adulthood, so you're not quite a kid anymore, but you're not quite an adult yet. So you're in this weird space. You're preparing for college or a career or to be an entrepreneur, you know, doing all of those things. And then you're also having to volunteer. You're having to get community service hours. You're having to do bigger projects. And so we like to help with that. So we have a volunteer program that we do offer. We offer job resources. We offer programs. We have all of these things that are in our space So yeah, we help them out with anything they're struggling with. We take that burden off of them so that way they don't have to worry about it, but they do struggle with that transition from going from middle school to high school because the workload is just different. And I'm here to share with you my picks for Women's History Month that feature juvenile nonfiction titles specifically. So up first I Am Malala, and this one is by Malala herself. It's a biography, and it's about how one girl stood up for education and changed the world. So Malala Yousafzai is only 10 years old. Well, she was at the time, and that's when the Taliban took control of her region. And they said music was a crime. They said women couldn't go to the market. They said girls couldn't go to school. Well, Malala stood up for her rights just because of who her family was and how they raised her. And she decided she was going to take a stand at 10. And she found her voice, and she's been using it ever since. So this is a little bit about her. I am Malala, a girl like any other. Although I do have my special talents, I am double jointed and I can crack my knuckles on my fingers and toes at will, and I enjoy watching people squirm as I do it. I can beat someone twice my age at arm wrestling. I like cupcakes but not candy, and I don't think dark chocolate should be called chocolate at all. I hate eggplant and green peppers, but I love pizza. And I think Bella from Twilight is too fickle, and I don't understand why she would choose that boring Edward. As my girlfriends in Pakistan and I say, he doesn't give her any lift. Now, I don't care much for makeup and jewelry. I'm not a girly girl, but my favorite color is pink, and I do admit I used to spend a lot of time in the front of the mirror playing with my hair. And when I was younger, I tried to lighten my skin with honey, rose water, and buffalo milk. When you put milk on your face, it smells very bad. And I say that if you check a boy's backpack, it will always be a mess. And if you check his uniform, it will always be dirty. That is not my opinion. This is just a fact. So that's a little bit from Malala, and I think this is a really great novel. So the next one is Girls Who Code, and this one is just a very nice, easy breezy novel. It is actually a series. It's about a group of girls who are friends, and they find the friendship code. And so this is starting with Lucy, who loves loops and variables and inputs and outputs. And suddenly Lucy begins to get cryptic coding messages and needs some help translating them. And soon she discovers that coding and friendship takes time, dedication, and laughter. So this is a really cute series. I definitely recommend it. Our next one I wanted to share with you is called Mighty Justice, and this is the untold story of civil rights trailblazer Dovey Johnson Roundtree, and it's by Katie McCabe, and it is also another biography book. So this one is a little bit different. It's of course set in the time of civil rights, and this one is where Dovey was really young and she was traveling with her grandmother. But the driver was not smiling. He whirled around in his seat, his face turned red. "Get that pickaninny out of here. And you know she can't sit in that seat." He used the word that white people often use referring to black children. Dovey had never heard it before, but she knew it was an insult. She had no idea she'd chosen a seat reserved for white passengers. In a flash, Grandma Rachel pulled the cord to stop the trolley, yanking Dovey down the steps as soon as it screeched to a halt. She led Dovey into town without saying a word, ignoring every trolley passed their way. Dovey had to run to keep up with Grandma, who quickened her pace with each block. To Dovey, the journey was the longest mile she ever walked. More troubling than the driver's stinging remark was Grandma Rachel's silence. Whew, powerful book, just like that throughout. It's really great. It's about someone I didn't really know about before either, so I definitely think you should add it to your list. The next one we have is Reaching for the Moon, which is the autobiography of NASA mathematician Katherine Johnson, and you may have heard of her in the Hidden Figures movie. So this is a little bit about her. It's not every day you wake up with a mission on your mind, but I had a mission and I was determined to accomplish it. Except the sound of Mama humming and clinking the dishes as she washed them in the sink, the house was quiet. Moments earlier, Daddy had left for work and my brothers and sisters had set off to school as I sat at the kitchen table, still fiddling with my oatmeal. I couldn't get my brother Charlie out of my mind. I kept revisiting the scene at the kitchen table the night before where he'd struggled with his math homework. First, Mama had tried to assist him with it. Back before she had Horace, Margaret, Charlie, and me, she had been a teacher. She should have been able to help him figure out his schoolwork. But the way he had slumped over onto one elbow had signaled that he was frustrated. All right, so that's a little bit about this book. It's also a great read, highly recommended. The last one I want to talk about today is She Rocks. And this one is Amazing Tales of Female Leaders. It has a bunch of different women that it features. So it has different women that you can see throughout, like Dolores Hureta. It has Benazir Bhutto. It has all of these beautiful women. And you can just go through and see all the different stories. All right, so this is a great book if you're looking for a bunch of different leaders that you want to look to and you don't want to read a whole book. You can just pick out one of your favorites and then read about them. And they have up-to-date people as well as historical figures. So I think this is definitely a great read. All right, that's my list for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.